When dozens of innocent victims are caught in the crossfire and Los Angeles' intensifying war on crime, both super cop John Spartan and violent thug Simon Phoenix are sentenced to cryo prison for their roles. When Spartan is finally thawed out 36 years later, it's 2032 and Los Angeles is now a pacifist utopia called San Angeles. But with Phoenix again on the loose, Spartan must team up with future cop Lenina Huxley to apprehend the killer and change the world around him in the process. Welcome to another feature presentation of Midnight Double Feature, and on this episode we'll be covering 1993's Demolition Man, directed by Marco Brambilla. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Midnight Double Feature. Here we are covering 1983's Demolition Man. I'm excited to be covering this. It's been an episode a long time in the making. The Simon Phoenix to my John Spartan. Zoheb, how you doing, buddy?
It's a little racist. I'm good. I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. Hey, dude, you get to have that Dennis Rodman haircut. Fuck you. I get a slanted lip and like I think I get the short end of the stick.
Tax evasion? Is that what it is?
And the Benjamin Bratt or Lenina Huxley, whichever one you prefer, to our John Spartan and Simon Phoenix trio. Danny Hartley, how you doing, buddy?
He's the Rob Schneider dude.
Can I be the three seashells to you two?
Can I be Rob Schneider? Can I be the warden from Shawshank?
Can I be Rob Schneider? Said no one ever.
Yes. If this is your first time listening to us, thank you guys for checking us out. We are Midnight Double Feature. We will be spoiling Demolition Man, going all the way through it, pretty much scene by scene. Also, there's an E on this motherfucker for a reason, so just watch out for that. We're gonna break it down, kind of go through, maybe read some listener comments at the end, give our final thoughts, maybe take a few bathroom breaks in the middle. But if this is your first time checking us out, find everything at midnightdoublefeature.com. That's where you can find all of our links to our socials. You can find our merch. Biggest thing is our patreon.com/midnightdoublefeature. You can become a member of the Green Room for $5 a month. You get 2 extra episodes, and it helps out the show so much. If you're not interested in that, at least go and rate and review us on iTunes, and also our Breaking Bad podcast, Bad Crystal. It's another one of our little offshoots that we, Zoheb and I, episode by episode, break down Bad Crystal. I've never seen it before, and that's a fun show as well. So please check those out and consider becoming a member of the Green Room. But with that out of the way, man, this episode's been a long time coming. We have tried to make this happen like 4 times. And I was like, I will not do Demolition Man without Danny Hartley. Not! Never! And I was so fucking happy when we finally said, God
Colin
bless.
Duncan, you'll find 1 credit for a violation of verbal rights. I was waiting for you to fucking swear, dude. You went on a run of like not swearing, and that's rare. Never happened before.
Usually
so I'm just waiting. I'm sweating over here, being like, God damn it, can you hurry up?
He's like, I've got this great gun in my pocket that's just full of jokes, and I can't.
It's like the one time that Colin doesn't cuss for like 25 minutes.
Yes,
like,
right.
So it's really quiet.
Like Lewis Black said, I say fuck so I can think of other stuff to say. And it's like, that's basically true.
I like that meme of that kid with the vein in his forehead, just like getting ready.
That kid is trying not to cough. God bless Zoheb's ear infection last week, so this could bring us all together. Are you feeling better, buddy?
Yeah, feeling much better. I have no idea where that fucking came from. I was doing like a photography shoot, and then like it was like killing me a little bit. Wake up the next morning, and I'm just like, it was killing me. And I was like, oh my God, what the fuck? Went to the doctors, got some antibiotics, doing good now. Excellent.
Danny, are you doing well as well, my friend?
Yeah, great, man. Did not have an ear infection. So yes.
Danny's like, I had 2 ear infections and I was still ready.
And I was no, man, this is a reoccurring movie, I think, that gets quoted with us just in random ways, but I think it's just like has such a cool mix of people that we had to cover this one day.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad that the 3 of us are getting to cover it now. So pretty awesome.
Hell yeah. Well, let's jump into our first impressions of this, because obviously I'm a big fan. I think we're all pretty much fans of this movie. And I'm curious as to how we came to it in different ways. Danny, just a quick question. Did I force you to watch this when I was in my Sylvester Stallone phase?
Yeah, I don't think I ever would have watched this normally.
Really?
Yeah, because I just don't like, I think in that era, anything that probably just had his face on it, I was just like, Colin will make me watch that eventually. And so, like, that
Here
was
comes
just Colin
with cliffhanger.
And so like that, it was pretty normal, I think, for us to be subjected to those. But the cool thing is that this is a fun ass movie, like especially with the dynamic, like some of these Stallone movies, I feel like can kind of have like some really haphazard casts in a sense, or like just like really like all over the place. This one is just like a really cool group of people. I feel like that's in this one. And as I was rewatching it, I realized slowly that I didn't know whether or not it was like fully a comedy more than it was something else. Like more than it was because of just how facetious everything is, almost an unrealistically happy-go-lucky everything is in San Angeles.
Yeah, it's creepy.
So, yeah, I think this is one you might have forced me to watch.
Yeah, this one, because I can remember Marsalis quoting my boggle. Like, I think Marsalis watched this a lot because I can remember him and I talking about it all the time. But Zohab, what was your first, like, when did you first see this Demolition Man?
So my first encounter with this movie, and I definitely heard about it for a very long time before this, was actually in 2015. It was via LSG Media. I was just kind of like going back through their catalog, and I was like, man, like everyone talks about that movie. I'm gonna go, check it out and watch it, and then listen to their coverage on it. And it's a great episode of their podcast. It's that's the first time I found it, and I thought it was great. Like in terms of just like what the premise was versus what my expectation of it was, because like when you hear Demolition Man, I just thought it was some guy who fucking destroyed buildings and houses, which is kind of accurate, but still.
It's like, this is so it's Judge Dredd, cool. Like,
yeah, exactly. But then the premise of this is actually really fucking awesome. Just the idea of like these two old school, individuals frozen and then wake up in a utopia and just kind of like all hell breaks loose. I just thought that was really, really awesome. I've always been a fan of Stallone, even though I love making fun of him and the world loves making fun of him. Like the guy is, I used to love that Judge Dredd back in the day. Obviously, it's not a good movie. Obviously, it's not a good movie. But I mean, like, he embodies a certain archetype. And this slots very, very well into that archetype. Like when you think of Stallone, I'm sure a lot of people go straight to Demolition Man. They don't really go straight to Rocky. They do, obviously, but that's more of his like, kind of like one of his prestige films. So if you do want to do like Rocky and Rambo, those are like way up there in terms of like prestigious. But then like you've got movies like this and like, I don't know, what else is there? Like what's another Copland, Cliffhanger? So like these are
more recently like Expendables. I feel like he's always the front of those.
Yeah, well, I mean, he directed the first one of those. And
dude, that movie Samaritan he's making with the guy who directed what's that Nazi World War II thing we covered?
Overlord. Julius
Overlord.
Avery. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. They're doing, like Stallone's going to be like a retired superhero in that, and I'm so fucking excited for it. I was like,
I'm so keen for it.
So cool. But
not only that, like, he's kind of like, dude, the guy got an Oscar nomination like 3 years ago with Creed. Like, I mean, he's killing it. So yeah, like that was my first time coming across it. I loved it back then. I like it now. I don't know if I love it as much as I did back then. But it's a lot of fun. And this movie needs more Jessie Ventura because
he got cut out a lot in this. Jessie Ventura really got the shaft.
He doesn't have a great part,
No.
I want Simon Phoenix.
Yeah. Well, that's like all I can fucking think of. It's just like, how are you bald and have long hair at the same time? It's so strange. Like it's like the first few seasons of Frasier with Kelsey Grammer. It's like, what the hell is your head? I don't understand that. Like, it's like some kind of like
the. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you
off.
No.
No,
I'm just saying the premise of this was the premise of this was so. I guess unique. And I was like, this has to be based on something. Did you hear about like the plagiarism accusation for this movie?
I did not.
Let me read this for you. Hungarian science fiction writer, and I apologize if I butcher any of these names, István Nemir says that most of Demolition Man is based on his novel Holtak Haka, which translates to Fight of the Dead, published in 1986. In the novel, a terrorist and his enemy, a counterterrorism soldier, are cryogenically frozen and awaken in the 22nd century to find violence has been purged from society. The mere claim that a Copyright Office committee judged that the film was a 75% match to the book. He did not file a lawsuit as it would have been too expensive for him to hire a lawyer and fight against major Hollywood forces in the United States. Damn. That's insane.
That's crazy. If you just said like good guy and bad guy get frozen and come out into the future, that's close enough, you know?
Yeah, but you said it was a 75% match, and you probably only explained that in like 30 or 40 words. So like imagine how much other details had to have matched for that to have been so similar.
Right.
That's pretty nuts.
This movie is, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, fuck this thing. No, I don't remember the first time that I saw it. I remember liking it, but it always being a little bit lower on my Stallone like tier list, just because I like a really great movie of his that came out around this era is called Lock Up. It's got him and like Tom Sizemore and Donald Sutherland. It's a really, really, really like underrated movie that he's in. It's got the other guy from Predator, the one Sonny. I can't remember his name. He's fucking crazy in real life. He's in Predator, but he's a Sonny something. I can't remember his name. Sonny Green. I can't remember. But I remember around this time, Lockup was like pretty high on my list. I don't remember loving Sonny Landham. Thank you. That guy's a crazy motherfucker, by the way.
How'd you get Sonny Green?
I don't know. I think that might be a guy I actually know, and that's the only Sonny. So I apologize if you're listening to this, Sonny Green. But why would I apologize just for saying somebody's name? That's ridiculous. But anyways, he's like, hey, God, dude, I'm trying from the IRS. Do you mind? But it wasn't very high, like on my list. And I feel like it's a little overrated now. I think that people are like, look at all the stuff Demolition Man got right. It's like, well, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a comedy kind of like thing, and it gets a lot of things right that a lot of others, like people talking on video chat in cars. It's in 1,000 movies, you know, all that shit's in like it's kind of like it becomes like this kind of like joke almost, like where people are like, oh, you know, The Simpsons predicted the future kind of thing, and it's like, okay, dude, that's funny a couple of times, and then it gets kind of like old. I guess fucking Demolition Man really predicted that 3 seashells fucking craze that came about when we were all out of toilet paper, you know, like,
wait,
so
you guys didn't use seashells during the start of COVID?
Yeah. when you guys were out of toilet paper, you didn't swipe to wet wipes. You just got like 3 seashells. That was it.
Dude, you know, I'm watching this with like, I'm just sitting there watching this movie. And then like Steph like sits down next to me and then she starts to get like invested in it. She actually really liked it, enjoyed it. Because the premise is just so kind of like bonkers and she loves Sandra Bullock. So she's like, the seashell thing happens and she's like, what the fuck? How are they supposed to use those? And then we got into this like big conversation about how someone would practically use those seashells.
Do you know how they use it? Well, what did you guys conclude?
Well, I was like, okay, so you'd use 2 to scrape from the sides, or like from the, sorry, not from the sides, from the front and the back, and then, I don't know, use one to pull it out? I don't know. I can't remember.
Seashells move?
I see it, because I heard that apparently Stallone has this like big breakdown where he goes, so you use these shells to do this, and he does this whole breakdown. And the guy, I think it might even be Daniel Waters who wrote this, or somebody else, one of the writers or something, which is like, dude, we just took a random object that would seem kind of like, I called a friend and I was like, hey, what's something you got hanging around you? He's like, I got seashells. And he's like, cool, boom, that's it. We'll put 3 seashells in the background. And I was like, okay, cool. Like but it's kind of weird that Stallone has this like crazy long explanation. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I guess you probably know more than the guy that fucking put it in the movie. like the guy who wrote it. And, you know, like that's nuts to me.
This is a story that I know of. So apparently, like you said, that someone called the writer. I'm looking it up now, and he happened to be using the restroom when he answered the call. He looked around his bathroom and said he had a bag of seashells on the toilet as decorations. So he decided to use that.
Yeah, that's basically it. And Stallone has this weird explanation of like something close to what Zoheb said. But beyond the three seashells, I really do enjoy this. Like I still enjoy Demolition Man, and I think that 90% of the reason I love, I'm sorry, I meant to say Judge Dredd. I still enjoy Judge Dredd, and I think 90% of the reason why is dude, we totally will. But it's the one part he actually does sound like fucking Judge Dredd is when he's outside that door and he goes, "Throw down your weapons and prepare to be judged." And I was like, oh, that is fucking terror. Dude, if I heard that in a room, I am fucking coming out with my hands up, dude. Like, that's his voice, dude.
Score, dude. Like when he rocks up.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he puts the bike down and you just like pan up to see him. Oh, iconic.
We'll cover it. It's so hard not to talk about this movie and not talk about Judge Dredd. Have you seen Judge Dredd, Danny?
Man, you know. It's on the roster. If you've seen it and it had him in it, you made us watch it. Like, it's pretty straightforward most of the time. But yeah, he always creeped me out in that movie, having blue eyes. I always thought he looked really out of place for some reason. Like, it almost doesn't look like Sylvester Stallone the whole time in the movie.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy. But let's say we jump into this shit. We'll jump right in at the beginning into LA, which has become a fucking hellscape by 1996.
Can I also just, I don't know where I'm going to exactly go with this, but I'm just going to laugh at the fact that how could you fuck up a city so bad that your idea to fix it was just like renaming it? Like, have you guys ever lived in a city where you had to explain to people that it used to be called something else? Like,
right, yeah. Dude, I mean, there's towns that do that where they have like a prolific murderer from like a tiny town. They'll everyone will pack up, move 20 miles away and settle down and just call it a new town. And it is that's like something happened a long time ago, you know, not so much these days. But I just love, of course, the Hollywood signs on. It'd be like, it's like when they show Paris, you know, the Eiffel Tower has to be in like flames or something, you know, it has to be something like that.
Hey, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're getting ready for this mission, and you're about to enter combat. You're about to rappel down from a helicopter.
Okay.
What is the thing that you shout? Do you shout your arch nemesis' name as you fall down? Because that is,
dude. You might security number.
Yes, you might as well be like. He might as well be like, "I'm here."
Like, do you know the total amount of people that heard him screaming that over the propellers and the gunfire? Zero.
They're like, "What did he scream? Something." Hemorrhoid. Yeah. I have the power.
Oh my god!
Oh, great, man!
No, but nobody can hear anything. They're like, listen, our eardrums like blew out the second we landed here, and this guy's yelling shit.
If we did a Mystery Science Theater retelling of this, where we had realistic audio of it, and it shows him jumping out, all it would just be is like, you just see him like flying down.
I do love the shots being shot up at the helicopter, just the red lights in the sky. It's like, oh, that does look pretty fucking cool.
So that you can see them at night.
Send a maniac to catch you on Maniac.
Oh, that's a great idea.
I hope they repeat that line later. So I know you guys might want to touch on specific other things in this, but have you guys ever seen somebody just like free bungee off of the back of a Chinook?
This is insane because he goes down and then he gets like hoisted up by the bungee again, and it just seems a little. I mean, like, no, he doesn't go all the way up, but like it just seems a little ineffective
it's
incredibly dangerous.
Yeah,
incredibly dangerous.
His spine and all the fluids in his body don't shift in some drastic way.
Right.
And what else kills me is this dude is like an MLG pro. When that thing stops moving, he immediately snaps and like clips a guy right in the chest.
Apparently that is Stallone.
We got a pretty big mission. We got to launch Spartan 117. Oh wait, he just fell from the fucking bungee that we decided to launch from the helicopter.
That would be fucking hilarious if in Halo they finally take the helmet off and it's just Stallone's face and they're like, yeah, it's John Spartan. Like,
we tried telling you. He even got frozen once,
y'all. We're introduced to Simon Phoenix, played by Wesley Snipes. So it's so incredibly nice of Wesley Snipes to humor this 40-year-old action star by not just kicking his face in. Wesley Snipes is like a professional. He's a very, very talented martial artist.
And I'm going to say probably like peak shape, dude. He was churning out like, I swear to God, like 2 or 3 movies a year, I think, at this point in his career. I feel like he was
doing shit this was his heyday. Dude, before he went to prison, he was in his prime. So like this is apparently like when he's doing like the kicks and shit, later on when they're in the museum, like they kind of had to slow down his kicks.
Yeah.
Because
same problem with Bruce Lee.
It was too fast for the camera, which is wild.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild.
Yeah. I remember reading, because I got really into like the philosophy of Bruce Lee, not really his movies, but just him as like a martial artist. And I started reading that when they did Green Hornet, they were like, hey, man, this is the 60s. Our cameras ain't shit. You're going to have to slow down. And he was like, oh, okay, cool. And it was like boring to him. I was like, that's crazy.
Right.
I love his fashion choice, by the way, in this. You can tell that this is 1996 Los Angeles. But you can't tell if this is another year or not, because I feel like that style might be coming back, like the whole just random, just mix match fucking clothing.
It feels like stylistically, it really feels like Mad Max meets Batman Forever. Like there's something about those two movies that feel like this to me, especially this beginning part. Not so much not so much like the future, but this part feels like fucking Mad Max and shit.
Like grungy, yeah.
Do you mostly say that because he's like laughing like the Riddler or the Joker in this the whole time? Which I will say later, whenever they are showing Leanna Huxley's like room, her police office, more specifically, there are a lot of subtle hints to different things and nostalgic pieces I think that they reference throughout the movie. And there is, out of all the figures they could have chosen, a Joker figure taped to her desk. And I always feel like in this, Wesley Snipes is almost channeling like that, almost unhinged, but kind of like laughably goofy, like kind of like Joker.
He looks like he did a rail of coke before every scene. Like,
it was real in that scene. That's why this guy only directed
that's actual coke.
No, I'm kidding.
Well, that, like you guys said, he's in, fucking peak shape. But like when I think of like, not one of my top rated movie villains, but like, dude, his look is just so like his face, he's got that crazy look in his eye. And then you're like, wait, does he have 2 different colored eyes? And then you don't even notice he has this blonde, like crew cutish kind of like. Yeah, apparently, I think Rodman got this from him. I think that's what I think. I think Rodman was after this.
That makes a lot of sense.
Dude, I think he fucking looks amazing. I think that stylistically, it's like, dude, they do such a great job being like, hey, he's the bad guy, like subtly in your brain. It's like, dude, he looks incredible. And so does Sylvester Stallone. I mean, obviously, dude, he just looks fucking ridiculous. I mean, like, one thing they do is they take a lot of like diuretics when they're filming and stuff to like pee a lot. So his body's just super dehydrated. That's why it's like all veiny and shit. I was like, oh God, that's fucking awful. Of course, a fight into Spartan and Phoenix are frozen. They find these dozens of bodies that will come back later. He gets frozen. We're introduced to Lenina Huxley. She's bored at their current utopia. Longs for some action. Blah, blah, blah.
Before we get to that point, I just want to also point out one other thing that I cannot, other than maybe like, so help me. Skyfall or the one after that, Spectre. I don't think I've ever seen an explosion as big as that building in the beginning of this. Is that
it's
practical?
Huge.
It's fucking big.
It's massive. I would argue it's a miniature. I don't know if it is. For sure.
Okay.
I'll look it up, but I'd argue it's a miniature.
I'm going to say that.
Actually, it's funny you bring that up. Spectre currently has the Guinness World Record for the biggest explosion on film.
And that's why I bring that up. Yeah.
And Michael Bay this week said that's bullshit.
Oh my God! What? Because of ambulance or because of other shit he did?
Pearl Harbor, I think that was the one that he called out. Like Pearl Harbor's that's a pretty big rigging. Like there's a lot that went into that whole set, but
yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, Spectre's got a huge, massive. I don't know. The first time I saw that, I didn't hear anything about a record or anything like that. And I watched the explosion just play out. And I was like, it's still going. The explosion's still going.
Yeah. Okay, Colin. So yeah, they both. It's interesting that he gets set up in a sense for a crime that he, honestly didn't commit. He said that he checked thermals in the building and that there wasn't any dead, or there were no hostages in there. But then Wesley Snipes twists this. Yeah.
Sorry, Danny. Just in regards to the explosion.
Oh, go.
So
it's a real building.
Yeah, it was an actual demolition of one of the buildings of the no longer operative Belknap Hardware and Manufacturing Company in Louisville, Kentucky. City of LA.
It's called Louisville. Louisville.
Well, dude, I live on the other side of the fucking planet. What do you want from me?
Dude, if you go to Louisville, there's entire shirts that have every way that people from around the world say it, and that's exactly why what you just did is exactly why they have that shirt.
What are you guys, fucking French? God damn it.
Louisville.
Louisville. We're going to say it a different way every time. I was filmed in Louisville. That's crazy. I've been there and seen multiple concerts there. That's very close to where Colin lives.
The city of LA allowed the filmmakers to use and demolish an old DWP building in LA. This enabled them to have more control over the explosion instead of having to cut straight to the building being gone and rubble as they had been forced to do with other projects. Joel Silver, by the way, produced this, and he said,
"Oh yeah,
we actually created a crater in the middle of the building and have the explosions and rubble more designed, so to speak. It's fun to do that because those big pyrotechnics always look great." I mean, Silver, he's no stranger to giant explosions. So
I do also have to point out when that fireman walks out and he was like, "Chief, they're spotted. We got 20 or 30 of them," and it just zooms in on Stallone's face. Oh, I do love that because it's the panic of like, I really fucked up.
Yeah.
I really fucked up. Like I said, he gets cryo frozen. He and Phoenix together. Blah blah blah. William Smithers. Blah blah blah. I can't hear Smithers without thinking like The Simpsons. That's the only reason why I remember that fucking guy's name. Like I said, we're introduced to Lenina Huxley. She's bored. Obviously not a lot going on. Unbelievably charming. Sandra Bullock. Good Lord.
Yes. Before we do get to that, I mean, she's fucking smoking hot in this, but
yeah.
It's kind of adorable that in 1993 we thought that we would have cryogenics in 1996.
Yeah,
it's kind of adorable.
It's like the closest thing we have now is like physical therapy cryogenics. Like freeze tanks and stuff. Like I want to try that stuff.
They get to 1996, and that's not even the future part.
Yeah.
Now, the thing I'm curious about is, did they end up having, when did cryogenic freezing start? Because I feel like Walt Disney cryogenically froze himself, and he kind of died a while ago.
Is that real, or is that a rumor?
I've heard that's an urban myth, but I've also heard that that's true. I don't know. I'm not 100%. Whenever anybody says like, "Oh yeah, Walt Disney froze himself," I'm like, "Oh yeah, I've heard that before." I hope it's true. That'd be wonderful.
Are you losing touch with reality? Is cryogenics a thing? I thought it wasn't.
I think is the technical term.
All I can think of is Futurama, like icy wiener. Oh, crud! That's all I can think of when I think of cryogenics.
Halo, like when you wake up. Spartan, yeah. Master Chief.
Oh man.
So in the future we have.
We love getting frozen. What's up with that?
Yeah, right. Anyway. What's going on? We have obviously we see the cuisine valet for Taco Bell like a little bit earlier on, but we also see this graffiti. We're introduced to Edgar Friendly, played by Dennis Leary. I used to love Dennis Leary, and he's kind of an asshole. Like now, all the shit.
Is that why?
Yeah, that and like a lot of shit too. Like Louis C.K. is like, yeah, like I had a bit like one of Leary's biggest things is "I'm an asshole." It's like a song that he wrote. It's like a comedy bit, and Louis C.K. went on like Opie and Anthony. He was like, yeah, I came up with that, and he just stole that shit. And I was like, dude, you're ripping on like two of the greatest comedians of all time for worse and for better. Especially the Bill Hicks thing. That was just like, that was really rough. I have a sweet spot for Bill Hicks.
I think Leary's a phenomenal actor. I think he's great in this. Dude, his rant in this is amazing. He's the best part of that Spider-Man reboot that happened, 2011. And I loved him. We talked about him in Small Soldiers. I think this is when we talked about Leary originally. But I think he's awesome, dude. Like his line delivery is always great. I try and like separate him, obviously, from his other shit that he does. Like, for me, it always comes down to the Kevin Spacey argument. Like, I mean, fucking the guy is a terrible piece of shit human in real life, but man, can he act? Like, man, can he act?
Right. It's like you have to take the good with the bad.
Yeah. I think that there is an entire attitude that existed throughout the 90s and the 2000s that people love to relate to, and that was basically encapsulated by Dennis Leary's delivery of things, where you just had to just blurt out all that shit at once, like a tornado of just shit that is all almost like sticking and landing on the wall. I feel like that we haven't even gotten to the one essential scene that he's really in the movie, let's be honest. Where he does like have that big rant, because in the other ones he's just like, get him, and then he's not even in the scene anymore, essentially.
Yeah, it kind of sucks, because to be able to pull off a rant like that, you'd need to have a improv kind of mind. You'd need to have like that ability to like chain together different things. I don't have that because I stutter a lot, and like my brain is faster than my mouth. So he didn't need to kind of like resort to stealing material, because he is a funny guy.
He's a good performer, maybe lacking the right writing department,
Right.
But I think that they picked him like probably just for that. Like they probably had like just that mood for that character, and they were like, "That's a Dennis Leary character." It's almost like the way sometimes characters are written for Samuel L. Jackson in a sense. But yeah, keep going. Sorry.
Do we want to just quickly touch on the names in this movie, like Spartan, Lenina Huxley, Friendly? Like what is going on here?
I know Lenina Huxley. So Brave New World is like a big part of this, which is a book by Aldous Huxley. And in that book, there is a character named Lenina. So Lenina Huxley, Aldous Huxley. In fact, there's even a part where Simon Phoenix goes to jump down and he goes, Brave New World. And it's like, oh, that's actually a book about like a utopia like this. And I mean, John Spartan, I don't know if that's trying to go back to just like the like Spartans, like 300 type shit.
Hilarious, man. It's
but like Edgar Friendly, Simon Phoenix.
Like John Matrix and fucking...
Yeah. And then Phoenix, which Phoenix, who's notorious for rising out of the ashes when you think it's dead. So.
Right. Yeah. Well, and also like the hair and the eye and shit. It's like, there's something about that. But
better than Cocteau.
Yeah, Cocteau. Like this, I don't just... But Sandra Bullock, she longs for some action, basically, and good God knows there would be a long line of volunteers. But eventually we see the parole hearing of Simon Phoenix. We also see, as this is going on as well, all the like Danny mentioned, her office, all that 20th century stuff. I love like the Lethal Weapon 3 poster, and it's like, yeah, that came out eventually. Like I think there was another one too. Like it kind of made me laugh. I was like, oh, that's even by 1999, like that joke was kind of like redundant now. But they end up basically thawing out Simon Phoenix. He somehow knows all these the codes to his cuffs and stuff. It is pretty brutal too, especially when he drops the fucking heel on that dude's chest. I was like, oh, like the second I was like, dude, you're fucking dead. But it's the little moments.
He explains that he's 3 times stronger when he comes out. So it's like, if that hurt normally getting crushed in the chest, like somebody 3 times stronger crushing you in the chest would be fucking like devastating.
What do we think about the utility of freezing people in prison? Because I mean, like, what's the point of this? That they don't have to suffer a long wait to be sentenced or something?
For
the death row?
Yeah, that's a good question. I wondered that same exact thing whenever I started watching this earlier. Is it because, this is the alternate to the death sentence? It's more humane. So it's like, we're going to freeze you and reprogram you to be not a criminal. So whenever you come out, it'll be better. And it's
so it acts as kind of like a rehabilitation thing, because like, isn't it that they're supposed to not, because like, I can't remember who it was it Spartan who says that I had I saw, I had memories in there, like I saw my wife, like, come and visit me, whatever. Yeah. But like, wasn't that to the surprise of like the warden or the captain or
all of them? You didn't dream in there, and he's like, "How did you? Like the fuck, like."
So my point is, like, if it's for rehabilitation, and the intention of these guys, like intention of freezing them, is so they're not kind of like conscious. What's the point of this?
I don't know. I wonder if it's something where eventually, they hit a point where crime was so bad that they were just like, because now, I mean, God knows, there's no way. They're like, yeah, we're going to freeze these people and reprogram them while they're asleep. It's like, well, yeah, that's kind of like overriding a person's free will, like changing that person against their will, like kind of thing. But I think that in this future, it has gotten so bad. They're like, yeah, fuck it. Yeah, go for it. Like reprogram these people and just fix them for when they come out.
And like to Zoe's point, like it's almost funny that there's somewhere in 1996 LA, it's all dilapidated in a war zone, that they have somewhere else where they bothered keeping up with this nice cryo lab. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's just so, it is kind of like a little bit of like a funky, door jam, I feel like, in the whole like thing.
Yeah. Simon Phoenix escapes. He commits 4 murder, death, kills. I fucking love that part.
Murder, death, kill is wild. So sometime in the future, we change the terminology to be something more complex, and impractical. Murder, death, kill is the same thing, by the way. I mean, come on, like murder and kill is the same. Death, maybe not, but
Yeah, I think murder, I guess, is more like, now you plan that shit. Kill is like, maybe it's your fault, but you didn't mean to do it, kind of shit. I don't know. Why split hairs? But he ends up committing the 4 murder, death, kills for reasons unknown to him. He possesses all these new skills and a voice telling him to kill the underground leader, Edgar Friendly. Don't you have a job to do? I wonder if he's just like, man, I ain't never had a job.
So it's one other thing I kind of wanted to laugh about real quick. I'm just like, I know I'm 10 seconds late on this, but like a huge song that was huge at this time, and like also a big thing, like just like hip hop was like, because it's a 187 on an undercover cop, which is the code for murder, like a police call code for murder. And it's hysterical that in this, that like there's an entire police station that's like a 187. What's that code? Like they're all completely like, that number's never even like crossed their memory in their studies or something. But like in the real 90s, when people are watching this, like it's like in a song they hear all the time on the radio.
Right. It becomes like, it's so common. It becomes a part of like popular culture in one way or another.
Yeah, but then what's that number?
I kind of like that though. That like, an act of violence this serious has never happened in a very long time. So they kind of like have forgotten, or no one's familiar with that particular code.
Yes.
I thought that was really interesting. Like this whole element of the movie is the most interesting to me. Like this whole kind of like society has progressed so far beyond what Spartan and Phoenix are like know.
Mm-hmm.
Right. They're like, we tracked his car. Yeah. And they start like high-fiving, and it's like, dude, that doesn't, that means nothing. Like that doesn't help at all. There's something almost like Hot Fuzz Sanford about it. There hasn't been a recorded murder in Sanford in 20 years. It's like, that's kind of like, if this is like Sanford and like the future from Hot Fuzz, that would
Colin,
be fucking great.
I need to remind me to tag you in something on Instagram. There's this hurricane or something, or tornado that happened in...
I saw it at that church. It's like Hurricane Eunice.
Where it was filmed. Yeah, where it was filmed.
Somerset,
like the top of the church fell. Yeah.
That's
crazy.
Fucking crazy. I love how the one thing I love about Simon Phoenix, how he can just walk up in the middle of like, you are a sensitive man who inspires joy feelings. And he just like slams that guy, and it's like a ragdoll effect. Like everything he does, dude, is
that guy runs off apologizing to the people he bumps into as well. Like that guy is just like 0% like toughness. I feel like on a scale.
But yeah, he ends up, kind of looking for information on Edgar Friendly. The police catch up to him, but again, he escapes. He's just dropping these guys like fucking flies. I love he's like, tell Maniac to lie on the ground or else. And it's like, it's almost like this is WikiHow, dude.
It's not so out of the realm of disbelief, like that they use or promote diplomacy before violence in the future. Like, that's not so far out of You know, like for me, what's unbelievable is that they don't carry weapons. Like that is pretty unbelievable to me. But like the idea of them being instructed to use diplomacy. Well, I mean, like that's what they're supposed to do now, right? I mean, they're supposed to use, you know, diplomacy before shooting the guy. But I mean, like 1993, 2 years after Rodney King as well. Like you got to put yourself in that position.
Well, it's got to be crazy to see like cops that don't even have guns. It's just mind blowing. But Phoenix doesn't need a gun because he programs the goddamn graffiti wall to kill that cop. Which I just very memorable kill for me. I always love that kill. You know, just using like the terrain around him.
Yeah.
And even the sounds as he's like beating the shit out of these dudes, like, and it's like him punching, and there's like these DJ scratches as it's going on. I love it.
Elliot Goldenthal's music in this is inconsistent. I think, to be nice.
I love
about
this.
Yeah.
Well, he just makes fucking mincemeat out of these guys. Ends up blowing up that car. All this is great, and it's just right away. It's got your attention. I don't feel bored. I feel like so much has happened. It's only been like 25 minutes. It's crazy.
Did you guys mean to do 2 Elliot Goldenthal movies in a row? He did the Squad of Heat. I just realized that.
I did bring that up in the Heat episode. I was like, oh yeah, Elliot Goldenthal, and there was someone else who was connected to this as well. I can't remember, but.
That's so funny. Oh yeah, at the very end in the credits, I noticed that one of the second producers or something like that was Louis Desposito. He's the one that does.
Oh yeah,
he's the one that does all the Star Wars
big Marvel
work.
Big Marvel guy.
Yeah, that too. I think he's just got his hands in a lot of that.
But again, Simon Phoenix escapes. He blows up all the cameras for 6 blocks. We're introduced to Dr. Raymond Cocteau and Glenn Shadix as Bob the Associate. I love Glenn Shadix from Beetlejuice. That's what I've always known it for, is Otho from Beetlejuice.
Okay.
File not found.
Well, anyways, they end up basically coming up with the idea to Linnea Huxley. How was Simon Phoenix apprehended back then? And Zachary Lamb lets him in on who John Spartan was. They watch that file. I love them watching the file, and it's like, how do you justify blowing up a $7 million mall to save a girl whose ransom was only $25,000? Hey, fuck you, lady! I fucking love that, man. But even
one of my favorite moments of this movie, dude. It's just so well. It almost grabs the tone of the movie very, very well in a sense where it's like there's shit and action happening, but it's also like just like that's so funny,
weirdly funny. It's like RoboCop. Like honestly, I think this and RoboCop are like a decent like pairing in a way because it's
do you think
totally
that it's because they both borrow that like Chrome is everywhere in the future sort of look. And like
that, and the humor. I think that the satire, like bleeding, like satire kind of thing. Because RoboCop has just like the most cheery.
You're not comparing this to RoboCop, are you?
No, RoboCop is so much better. It's so much better. But I do think that this would make like a good double feature. There's like a similar taste in both of them. Just that the future is kind of like I feel like South Park would make a great like parody of something like this.
Mm-hmm. It's only a matter of time until Stephen King gets brought up. But let's keep going.
Yeah. Do you want to hear something?
Sure.
David Fincher recommended Brambilla to Joel Silver as the director of this movie.
Who?
David Fincher
recommended who?
This director, Brambilla.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Brett Miller. I was like, who?
No.
This poor director, we're not going to remember his name at the end of this.
That's interesting. So John Spartan is thawed out. I love the guy that plays the older Zachary Lamb. I think he's in Sopranos for like one episode. He's like that Reverend's dad. He's in a bunch of really, really fucking good movies. I just can't remember the actor's name.
Yeah, I know him from Bill Cobbs. I know him from Night at the Museum.
Oh, nice.
Hey, also funny thing that my wife pointed out when we were watching this was that Benjamin Bratt. Who was like Leanna Huxley's like partner in this until John Spartan shows up. They end up being in a Miss Congeniality together very shortly after this. Like as
that's
like
right.
The 2 main people. It's pretty interesting.
Never seen it.
That's right.
Oh, that's a
apparently it's pretty good. I haven't seen
movie,
it.
Man.
I don't believe you.
So, as they explain who John Spartan is, they're thawing him out. Chief Earl, he disagrees with this method. John Spartan's getting used to the world around him. They're kind of going over all the stuff like, oh, let me get a Marlboro. She has to explain that basically the whole world is different now. Basically anything bad for you is now illegal.
Yeah, they said that sex is illegal. And my wife was just like,
just blow my brains out.
My favorite thing in this entire movie is just in the background, the sound design of the machine. You have one credit. I just like just how quiet.
You're right.
Just how quiet it is. It is persistent, but sometimes it's not. Like sometimes it's like
no. Okay, I mean in a good way. I mean like they don't forget. Like unless they're underground or in the car or something. I think every time that's something like there's at one point where he says "fuck" and it's like in the distant, like 1% background. It's like you've been cited for. I'm like
yeah. Dude, but then it happens in like Cocteau's house. I'm like, who installed this in Cocteau's house? What the fuck? Okay.
I did not catch that. It's funny.
Yeah.
So John Spartan is thawed out. He's told, it's future. Basically, everybody is dead, and it's a nightmare. Welcome. We need your help, by the way. The worst person you ever faced is out on the loose, and everyone you loved is ever dead.
Yeah, remember all that hard work you put in before you got frozen and wrongly incarcerated? Can you redo that in the future you don't recognize?
Do you remember that freedom you had? Well, as long as you don't mind parting with that, you're going to love this new future. This where they kind of break out the whole 3 seashells bit, which we kind of briefly touched on. I love, right? He didn't know how to use 3 seashells. He just stares at him and goes, I could see how that could be confusing.
I was picking on him earlier, but he does like nail this character in this. It's just like he doesn't know how to use 3 seashells. It's just like that recurring laugh
in this as well.
What's that?
I think he didn't take a credit for this movie.
Really?
For some reason. Yeah.
He's barely in it.
You know the poster for this movie? It's just them two looking at each other, right? And at the top it says Stallone Snipes. When I was a kid, I thought that was the name of an actor, Stallone Snipes.
Oh, man, who's Wesley Sylvester?
That's so funny. I feel like that's going to be that would be Zohab's like name that he uses on Starbucks coffee. And like
that's my porn name, dude. What are you talking about?
Yeah, Wesley Sylvester. I love his conversation with Zachary Lamb. It's like, shit, you were a damn good flyer. And you just hear it going off in the background. Yeah. And so he racks up some toilet paper. All this is really great, but it just shows him like, I think it's honestly like a microcosm of showing that even though John Spartan is put in a totally new situation, that he's like, no, I can adapt. Like I can adapt to this, and it's like right away he shows himself adapting. It's great.
This was so good, dude. Like I don't know. I think I just like wasn't thinking right. So like he's racking up all this toilet paper, and I just go to Steph. I'm like, what the fuck? So he just didn't wipe his out here, just like got shit hanging from his pants.
Been walking around with like shit in between his cheeks.
And Steph's like, he probably didn't go, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, he walked in there and like noped out.
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie. Steph is the one that helped me understand that too, because I too was like, ew, that whole scene he was walking around like that. Like, I think it's just for somebody to be like, maybe he just held it.
There's just like a piece of shit just clinging to his asshole now.
Do you understand how old I am? That option just now clicked in my brain.
Yeah,
like
no, that's kind of because all I wanted to was Zachary Lamb be like, John Spartan, you smell like shit. That's all I wanted to hear. Zachary Lamb.
I recognize that smell anywhere.
Yeah.
It turns out he never wiped his ass like back then. Like that was his thing. That was like part of his
Dude, Stallone jumps from the helicopter, and Phoenix is like,
yeah. Oh man, I'd smell that Italian sweaty ass anywhere. I know where that is.
That's when he jumped out of the helicopter.
Smells like meatballs.
So,
Okay.
Oh, Jesus, that's good.
Spartan says that Phoenix is going for a gun, plain and simple. Warden says the only place you can find a gun is at a museum. Hold on, ching, ching, chong, ching, chong, chong. It's like, that is fucking, like,
that's like Red Hot Chili Peppers having in the All Around the World song. There's just a part of the verse where they go, I know for sure. Instead of saying, that life is beautiful, they end up going ding dong 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 ding dong.
It is.
Are we gonna just go over that?
It is egregious.
Imagine the roles are reversed, and it's like an Asian. You know, it's like an Asian Simon Phoenix, and it's a bunch of black people, and he goes as they go by. I'm like, oh my god,
so bad and unnecessary, dude.
So
I was like,
fucking cringy.
Because I remembered it, right, and like I was like, Steph, just wait. There's a moment coming up, and it happens, and it just blew our minds at how egregious it was, and I was like, how have they not cancelled him? Oh, wait, society cancelled him because they put him in jail a year later.
Yeah, right.
But it's still crazy that has the most random dialogue placed in this whole movie, doesn't it? Like, it is just so bizarre to me that fit in there still.
One of my favorite parts of this movie is when he walks up. Anyway, like Simon Phoenix walks up and he's like, "You are now entering the hall of violence." And he was like, "Oh, home sweet home." And he like fucking slams that guy into the plexiglass. And I was like, Jesus Christ, man. So we've got, and you know, I like them as a trio. I like Benjamin Bratt, Bullock, and Stallone. I like that because there's something that Sandra Bullock does obviously a lot more with her screen time, but Benjamin Bratt pulls off just as well with much less screen time. Is this like naivety, but they're not like morons. Like they're like, I think so, dude. I think he pulls it off pretty well because he does have like a pretty good. He has a very boyish charm, and I think that comes across as like very naive, especially with how it's like they speak in very like complete sentences. And like, it wouldn't be like, "Hey, what's up, Danny?" They're like, "Hi, Danny Hartley. How are you?" You know, but then it's also the positivity to it.
That they speak.
I think no.
Sentences?
I think that there's something like it's not. There's no like short end to it, and I think the way that not only that they talk, but I think that there's something in the way that they're presenting themselves is like, man, they're extremely like naive, but nobody here is like really stupid. I mean, how could idiots run this world? Like, it's so technologically advanced, you know. So I think there's something. They're just like emotionally naive about stuff.
Colin is hiking Mount Kilimanjaro right now, trying to back up his position. Dude, I'm not gonna lie
like
to
Benjamin Bratt.
I love him too. I mean, yeah, he's awesome. But like, this trio doesn't work for me. I don't know why. I think it's just I don't know. I think it's just because like there wasn't enough for me. Like, I think the movie. True. The movie just,
you only get really glimpses of it.
Yeah, right. In the car and then in the police station, they have they have a couple walking around scenes, but
right.
Oh, then I guess they go down when they go underground. But that's about
when they go underground, and then Benjamin Bratt is wearing the Scraps uniforms later, and I'm just like, okay, why? I don't care. I don't care about this.
I had forgotten that he wasn't even like back at the station or just doing other shit. Like when I know we're skipping ahead, but when he later comes out with that dressed up, I was like, huh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, all right, fine. It doesn't mean anything to me.
I was like, okay. Cool. All right. Anyway, so you going to church with them on Sunday, bud?
Right.
Yeah. So they deduce he's going for a gun, and they're correct. He gives a quick racist quirk, and then he goes into blindsiding people into walls. I love the commercials, the songs, hot dogs, armor, hot dogs. Man, that is fucking great. That is so funny.
Do you think that that's just, okay, that's a dumb question. Hang on. It's hysterical that that's how they thought that that's the evolution of music would go. Mm-hmm. But it's also hysterically painful product placement sometimes, I think, if it's real. I don't know if any of that's paid for, but
is that an actual commercial that you guys are familiar with, or is
yeah.
Oh,
hot dogs, armor, hot dogs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because it didn't do anything to me.
All of those that I heard in the movie, I think I had heard in some amalgamation at one point or another. Not as plucky as it is in this movie, but like, yeah. So I don't know if a lot of this is product placement, if they got paid for that or anything, but every time it happened,
this is the
like,
product placement you have an issue with. This is the one. Because we're about to get to Taco Bell.
No. I think that there is a shit ton of product placement in here, and yeah, there is a very cringy one we'll get to in a minute.
My whole favorite part of this museum thing has got to be the whole, what's your boggle? My boggle. And he's like, how much do you weigh? He goes, well, my exact weight in ounces. And this is something I remember our friend Marcellus and I bonding on, is as he's grabbing him and swinging him, he's still like,
he's still
smiling.
He's still smiling.
As he's getting like put through the glass. I remember being like, that is so fucking surreal as a kid. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Getting like, he's like, wait, this is the future. What's the phase of guns?
He and I laughed about that shit all the time. That's so perfect.
We get this great fight with them at the Hall of Violence. You know, and they fall down into that. I guess it's like a bit of the earthquake that was preserved. I think it's like an exhibit. I'm pretty sure. Blah blah blah.
I like all this stuff. I like it a lot.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, and they're right back where they left off. And this is where we get such a brave new world quote from Wesley Snipes. And I love that even though Wesley, again, it's John Spartan adapting to what's going on. Even though he doesn't have a gun, he uses that nightstick to the best of his advantage and the shotgun does nothing. Like basically he shoots that thing, it sends him through, but it's the lightning rod that really actually fucks up, you know? So I think it's showing like I have the advantage because like I'm adapting to the future and you're not. You're still going after these old guns and shit. You know what I mean? Like I think there's something kind of cool about that he doesn't really use a gun to defeat him. He uses that fucking and where does he what I love is that somehow he gets this shotgun and then magically he has like 8 shells for it. It's like, what the fuck? Okay, sure, whatever. But they end up picking up right where they left off. I love all of the, even the hand-to-hand combat, not just the shootouts and stuff, because they look, I don't know, like there's something great when you're thinking of like hero and villain. There's just something so I don't know. I don't want to say like iconic because it isn't really, but it kind of is. I just love the way that they're both dressed, and like there's almost like a Corbin Dallas thing going on with Simon Phoenix, like from Fifth Element, like the white hair, like the jumpsuit, like the orange shirt and stuff. But then there's something almost like Judge Dredd about what, you know, Stallone is wearing. You know, he's got the same kind of like color layout and stuff on. So I love the costume design in this, you know, and I think there's something so incredible about the way that they make everything look. And somehow like it hits something in your subconscious that is just like, yes, that is how that thing should look. I know that's like such a weird way to describe it, but there's something about Simon Phoenix. I'm like, yes, that's perfect for a future villain, you know, if you wanted to go that route. But, Simon Phoenix escapes yet again, where he comes across Space Pope, Dr. Cocteau. He's got a directive. he's got a directive for like RoboCop though, and he can't shoot the future Pope. And he says the same thing. Now, don't you have a job to do? Apparently this guy did not get along with Stallone and Snipes and just really did not like any of them. And he was like, basically only did this movie to get funding for like a play or some other movie.
Of course.
This actor could not give a fuck.
He's British, so he must be a thespian for sure.
Right. Yeah. He's great. I like him. You know, he kind of has that like Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen thing going on that that's always so charming. Let me see here. Brave World. He escapes yet again. We run into Dr. Cocteau. He can't kill him. In response for saving his life, Cocteau invites Spartan Huxley out to dinner at Taco Bell. So good. So fucking good. What'd you guys think of this like reveal with like Taco Bell winning the franchise wars and stuff?
How did they win? Let's practically trace this out. How did they win the franchise wars? What was the criteria?
Okay, so first of all,
was it the most people who shit themselves after eating? Is that what it was?
Yeah, no, like that and an ironic twist is what made me go, I think this is a comedy movie. Honestly, that truly was the moment where I was like, oh, maybe this isn't actually an action movie primarily, because this is all almost one like long, funny joke almost of like a funnier version of the future. And they just like put Stallone and Snipes in there as like playthings in a sense.
Well, yeah. And once I think there's something too about once the cat is out of the bag, they try to like refreeze Stallone at one point. He's like, yeah, I'm not doing that. And like, nobody can do anything about it basically, and he's like, what are you going to do? Arrest me? you guys don't know how.
They come up and tell him, they're like, you're supposed to be returning back for crowd freeze. He's like, yeah, we'll get to that. And they just don't even like be like, hey, meanie. Like, they're just like, yeah.
So apparently the Taco Bell logos were replaced in Europe by Pizza Hut.
I heard that.
Yeah. And like literally like
for whatever reason.
They all had to go and re-record their lines because it just
Really?
like Taco Bell in Europe was not really a thing. Taco Bell's not really a thing here either.
Do you know though that both of those I think are all owned by the KFC Yum company?
Is that what it is?
Yeah. So there's times where if you go to a Pizza Hut here, sometimes they share a Taco Bell. So it'll be like a building that it just has like the Taco Bell coloring to it, but the sign on the outside will have it split in half. Okay. And they sell like all the Taco Bell stuff and then probably like a quarter of the Pizza Hut menu or something like personal pans or something. So for them to switch it to that one, actually, it sounds like it's all because they're all owned by the same people. It's probably that's why they chose that one.
Oh, there you go. The more you know. Welcome to Midnight Double Feature. We will educate you on fast food.
I like as they're trying to deduce, exactly where Simon Phoenix is. He goes, well, he can't. So basically, money's outdated. He can't get a room. He can't get food. He goes, well, unless he chops off somebody's hand, and let's hope he hasn't figured that one out yet. Like that's such good delivery on Stallone's part. They end up going to their dinner at Taco Bell. They talk about the Schwarzenegger library, the amendment that allowed Schwarzenegger to become president. I honestly,
it's insane.
I mean, but let's be honest. If Schwarzenegger ran for president in like 1990 or 1992 or 1996, that he would have won. Like he absolutely would have won.
Well, I mean,
there's no doubt about it in my mind.
If they would have passed the actual law allowing people that were not born in America to be president, then totally. Like especially with how shit happens now, you can tell the people that get elected. But certainly back then, he probably, if that wasn't a law, you're right.
Yeah. It would, and I absolutely do. It's like it's crazy how insanely popular, I think for there to be even like a war in the 80s of like a rivalry between Stallone and Schwarzenegger, like I would be so flattered to be Schwarzenegger's rival and be like, that means I'm even close to this dude. Okay, cool. Like I'm down with that, man.
I just
like
love
as far
it,
as
man.
like films,
it's moments like this that reminds me of moments in like Last Action Hero. Remember when like he goes up and sees the Terminator standee and it's Stallone?
Yes,
I love shit
man.
Like this.
I love it. It's so good, and I
ate green berets for breakfast as well.
Yeah, it took so long for them to get together on a film. They didn't get like a Heat, like a De Niro Pacino thing. They didn't get that, and it's like, man, you guys should have done something like 1995. Man,
that
you
is
guys
crazy.
Would have killed
that
it.
would have been the perfect era for them. You're right, the mid 90s.
They just took so fucking long, man.
They got
it's
the
like
escape plan.
Yeah, exactly. And now it's like, fuck, man, this is just, I don't know. So they go to dinner at Taco Bell. This is where they kind of, Spartan kind of pops everybody's bubble about the whole cryostasis thing. Hey, man, I heard and felt all of that shit. Now, I don't know if he's in it for like the whole time, if he's like coming in and out of it, who knows? I assume he's coming in and out of it because if he were just alive in there, the first thing, if I woke up after like 34 years of being stuck in the same, I would just like, like I would be like the guy in Seven who's like on the bed and just fucking like paralyzed and out of his goddamn mind.
Hurts. Why did I decide to do the fucking? Why did I decide to do
Why
this
did I do the swan crane? As I was getting frozen. He was awake for a lot of his cryo time though, but it's terrifying implications.
Can you see his nuts in this movie?
I don't know. I wasn't looking, honestly.
I was.
So, how about you answer that question? So,
well, I mean, you see something. You see a shadow and maybe a pube, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. But the
also shout out to Leanna Huxley's costume designer for her dress that picked up all of the little fake marble things that you get at Walmart and just hot glued them onto a dress.
That's awesome.
Like we saw that the first thing we just started dying about was how that was laid out, man. It's like a shower curtain.
Future Pope, Space Pope decides to go into talks about how the madness took over. You weren't here for when it got really bad. The big one, as Sandra Bullock was talking about, that big earthquake that killed Spartan's wife. If I had not the radiance of San Angeles, would not be here, just your rotting cesspool of hate and suffering. Which would you prefer? And it is kind of a good question. He's kind of like, you can't have one or the other. But it's like it's too much either way. You need kind of like a balance of that. And right as they're kind of having this dinner, this is when the scraps show up, which is like they're like a team from the Warriors. Like the scraps. There's something about them. It's like, and so basically, like, I love that they have to call them the scraps. Like, oh, you mean homeless people? That's what they're called, homeless people.
Like,
we don't need a catchy
name. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. They're like, what's better than homeless people? Like, you mean the pieces of shit? You mean the sharks? They could have called them sharks the whole time.
I love the person that's like, those homeless people are really depressing. Let's come up with a cute name for them. And that'll make me feel better when I'm talking about them. We'll call them the scraps.
It's just interesting to me that like in this new utopia, there's this whole focus on like increased morality. And like there's just this like, let's just go ahead and call homeless people scraps and, think of they're pieces of shits,
Right, yeah. The scrap sounds like a kid's like baseball team, like the scrap should not be what you call like a group of like men and women and children who are starving and they live where like Pennywise from It lives for some reason. I don't know where the hell they live. Like deep down.
The Scraps is the identical baseball movie that came out at the same time that Sandlot did and did not do as well.
It was like the Canadian version of Sandlot.
Yeah, the direct-to-DVD version starring Bruce Willis.
Yep.
Yes. That's so good. What a fucking hero. Edgar Friendly says as they run off with some food. I like this. I like this a lot. Where he's basically saying that, hey, these people are not criminals. They're just, they're starving, and I like that he kind of lays out, he's like, it's not good to be violent. And he's like, well, okay, maybe sometimes it's okay being violent, but not when it's a bunch of people just trying to get something to eat. And it's like, cool. Like, even though this is kind of like goofy, there is kind of like a line being drawn there where it's like, hey, I'm hurting people that are just trying to survive, and it's, I don't know. I think that's cool. I think that's kind of like recognized, because there's something, I can't remember the full extent of the quote, but one of the writers, I think of this movie, or it might have been somebody else who was writing a movie with like a perfect utopia. And they're like, utopias frighten me because they always come at the expense of a group of people. And that's kind of like what's going on in Demolition Man, is like these people that are rejecting, like, nah, I don't really want to do that, and they're basically being starved to death, which is just insane. I love, he's like, hurting people's not a good thing. Okay, sometimes it is. Like how he changes gears.
He nails some good lines in this, man. He's got some great lines in this shit.
He absolutely does. As they're coming home, and it's especially too, like all of the shots of like the city and stuff. I love the way the cars look. They kind of, I was like, Teslas? As I was watching this, it's like, that fucking look like like self-driving cars and shit. I think this is where she goes to bring up his daughter, and he shuts her down. He's like, I don't want to see her, which is an interesting, like, there is a total subplot in this where his daughter actually has scenes with him at the end. And she's one of Edgar Friendly's like scraps. And there's also like, but it's also kind of somewhat implied that like Lenina Huxley is his daughter.
Yeah. Like I was hoping, and not hoping, that would be weird. I was in a hysterical way thought it would be funny if in the second one, if they found out that she was his daughter. And it's like,
Danny, have you ever seen Old Boy?
No, but I know what that movie is. Is it the scene where he goes down the hall? It's like the really famous scene where he goes down the hallway. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys see Old Boy.
It's
just
basically Return of the Jedi. that you're explaining.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you're my sister. And I just love in Return of the Jedi, their first thought isn't like, like fucking Bob. Like when
it was all planned.
Like when Dennis
Lucas is here, everybody. George. Yeah.
Well, I love like in Always Sunny when Dennis thinks he's gotten D pregnant. He's like,
oh my god,
he's like in the hallway trying not to throw up.
Love that show.
But he gets that tape from Huxley. You know, he says just one of those hunches again. We have this meeting between Simon Phoenix and Cocteau. Illuminate. And again, I love the way he looks in this guy. He looks so Mad Maxian. Let me see here. Blah, blah, blah. Phoenix crashes on Cocteau. He tells him he needs more people thawed out. Spartan and Huxley begin to have sex, which is interesting. The future version of sex, which is like, I mean, I guess there's something like, I'm kind of curious as to how all of this works. Like, I mean, I guess I wouldn't like be totally negative to it. You know, if Sandra Bullock walked up and was like, yeah, I want to have sex with you, but it's like a VR thing, I'd be like, yeah, why not? Sure, fuck it.
Let's do it.
Sandra Bullock.
My question is,
this is 1993 Sandra Bullock. Come on.
How did that climax? Like, I mean,
is that why she hands him a white towel when she walks out?
Oh, is that what she does?
Check it out.
There's definitely she definitely handed him a towel.
Oh, so he came in his pants.
He's in a gigantic black Camino robe, and when she comes out and like hands him all that stuff, all of a sudden out of nowhere on his like over his knee, he has a gigantic like white clean like towel.
But like,
well, and
just you need friction, right? I mean, what generates the friction?
I don't know. Is it just like when you have a wet dream? You know, is it just hitting that wet dream part of your brain? It's just fucking hitting that part of your brain like over and over again.
No lotion required.
I do love the way they visualize it though, and they're like zooming in on Stallone, and they're doing that noise, and they're showing clips of her like just in ecstasy, and I was like, that's kind of cool. Like I kind of am getting the sensation that you're trying to put into my head, like visually with this. I just some of Stallone's faces are kind of good because like it's the camera's like zooming in on him, but other than that, like I love it's very disorienting. You know, I think that's kind of like what they're going for. What this is kind of throwing them through, and I love the design of the little helmet thing too. I think that's interesting looking.
Zoheb, can you just for a moment put yourself in the director's shoes and direct us through that scene of having to have VR sex and how that must go?
Yeah. So look, Colin, you lie down, and Danny, you be on top. And what we're gonna do is
I don't want to be a power bottom.
I'm gonna stand right here, and I'm gonna flick the lights on and off real quick. That's what.
And the first one
just wants you to move your head.
Yeah,
you guys try to come and have a seizure at the same time.
Right. I've got some beach towels that you can lie on.
Here's your complimentary kimono after you're done.
My favorite line reading in this entire movie is, "Oh, I mean, boning the wild mambo, the hunka chunka."
When Zohab said, "Are y'all ready to talk the hunka chunka about this?" I did not remember that line, and I've seen this movie too many times, and I was like, "What?" He sent me the video of that. It just
God, I cannot wait to just one day say to Steph, "Hey, let's do the hunka chunka." She's gonna think we're gonna do a dance or some shit.
Oh God, well, that's the day
is this like a TikTok?
Is single again.
Yeah.
She'll love it, and she'll love it. Okay, make her love it.
So, after getting the boot, Spartan freaks out. He tries to do it the old fashioned way. Lenina Huxley says no, thank you. He gets the boot. He goes home and he plays the disc. He realizes there's something more between Phoenix and Cocteau. I like the wrong number. It was just like that woman was apparently Playmate of the Year. I don't know why that's in there, but it's just kind of like.
I feel like it's because they were already pushing that vibe in this section of the movie, and they almost didn't want to let that go like they didn't want to like leave that box unchecked. So they're like, before we get too far away from this area, let's go ahead and exactly. It's like, we already got it. So let's just go ahead and like, can we get one naked person in here? This is where we put that scene at. Like, boom.
We revved everybody's engines up with Sandra Bullock, and they're not getting that. So we got to flash this lady's tits at you real quick.
So they put this in there so that everybody could go back in the 90s when they had it at home and pause it. You know what that was for.
You don't think I paused that shit? Come on, dude.
Yeah. The next, and Spartan's theories about what's going on between Cocteau and Phoenix are kind of confirmed the next day when they go into his rehab file and they realize that he's been rehabbed like, basically like a fucking like SEAL Team 6. Like he's basically been in he gets the training that Neo from the Matrix gets while he's asleep. It's like just all that shit just rambling on in his head.
Oh man, what a great reference to that. I didn't even piece those two together, but I love that.
Well, and I love that Spartans is knitting. He's like, oh, great. So I turn into a fucking seamstress and he gets to, he comes out like Davy Crockett or something. There's just something every time I look at Sandra Bullock, it's like, God, you are so unbelievably just charming.
When she accepts the shirt that he makes for him, she's just like glowing,
Right. They pull up his rehab program, realize it's not quite all as what it seems. Basically, he's been taught fucking everything.
It's like in the newest Jumanji, whenever they're going through all the like powers that they got, and like Kevin Hart and Jack Black are going through theirs. Then when they get to the rocks, it's like a long list of shit that he's really good at. It's like that's almost essentially what they did for him for Simon Phoenix or whatever. For John Spartan, they were like, we're just gonna make him not be kill a bunch of hostages and maybe get some knitting in. But for Phoenix, it was like how to build the Death Star, like how to
pilot an AT-AT,
like Hitler 101 and 102. Like it was just like fucked up shit in there.
Spartan and Huxley crash on Cocteau. I do love the shot of Stallone with the gun to Cocteau's head, that like full screen shot. Like, man, that looks fucking great.
How the fuck do you not know he came into that goddamn office? Like,
yeah.
Who is he
also,
talking to?
It cracks me up. Yeah, that he's talking loud enough that it's like he couldn't possibly hear me 6.5 feet across the room behind this wall. And it's like, it'd be one thing if he were in like a secret little closet. He's in like a fucking 40 by 40 sized room. It's like did you not notice? Yeah. Like, where the fuck was this?
Like, go get in the janitor's closet at least.
Right. You know what? Do your Zoom from home today. You don't even have to come in. Just stay at home. And you don't have to come into the office, Cocteau.
That's the one day he decided to go into the office.
I told myself I was going to come in on Wednesday, but I came in on Thursday, and this is what I get.
I left a salad in my mini fridge, and I really don't want it to spoil.
These fucking computers are ridiculous.
Creepy. Yeah. Honestly, the whole set, if somebody would have shown me the computer thing and been like, isn't this cool? I'd have been like, no.
Yeah, it's like let's fill this boardroom with a bunch of HAL 9000s and see how we go. And like it's crazy. Yeah.
Hey, Wesley Snipes does make a HAL joke. You're right. In the halfway through, whenever he's getting computer information at the beginning, he goes, "God damn it, HAL!" And I was like, that's funny.
I love right as they're leaving Cocteau and he pulls the gun on him, and he was like, basically put this guy back in cryostasis, and he pulls out the gun and he's like, "Be well," and he's like, "Be fucked," and then you hear that, John Spartan, you are fined 1 violation of the Federal Code. Just in the background. So fucking good. So of course Spartan's like, fuck that, as we discussed earlier. He's like, I'm not, I'm not going back into that, into the cryostasis. This is where they head down, enjoy a couple of rat burgers, which is interesting.
Yeah, let's go blow this guy.
Yeah, let's go. That is funny the first time, and then it's like maybe the second time, and then I was like, okay, no.
But it's funny to think of all the different slangs that existed and tried to make it through the years that just make no sense, and then he just had to keep correcting her on them. Kind of funny to me, I guess.
as they get down there, this is kind of like the only thing really left of the old world. You've got beer, you've got burgers, you've got people actually having physical contact and stuff. I love that he actually sits there and eats that whole thing. He's like, rat, not that bad.
He takes it so well. Takes it so well.
I mean, he hasn't had a burger in fucking like 36 years, He's like, fuck it. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, and that beer, I mean, it's like both of those. It looks like that's the real orgasm he has.
I do love, right. Like he gets down there and he recognizes the smell and it's just the barbecue.
Yeah. They're like, oh, what's that smell? And he's the only one clearly not repulsed by it.
Right.
After enjoying the rat burger, the trio bump into Edgar Friendly, and the two groups become cautious allies. This is like Borzoa was talking about this infamous rant by Dennis Leary. Basically, they find out they have a little bit more in common than they thought. I like that. And he was like, yeah, I don't know who the fuck you are. We're not here to rattle your tree. We're looking for this dude. And basically, that's where they kind of put the pieces together. He's like, yeah, Simon Phoenix is he's coming to kill you. That's the only reason he would be down here. And I kind of love the design of Dennis Lee. It's simple, he just kind of looks like a mechanic, basically. But there's something about the design. And one of the people around him is Jack Black.
Yeah.
Jack Black is in this movie for like half a fucking second, and if you blink, you'll miss him, kind of thing. He's down
very
here.
That? Is he at the round table?
He's standing there with when he's talking. He's like, you're up there. You live Cocteau's way. How he wants, when he wants. Come down here, maybe starve to death. He's hanging out all to the left of Dennis Leary there.
I'll have to look for him.
Which is like, man, I thought seeing him in like an X-Files episode from 96 or 97 was crazy. And it's like 93. It's like, holy shit, man.
Jack Black has, I see him now. That's insane. Oh my God. I did not catch that the first time. Yeah. Jack Black was in like one of the first like video game commercials, and he's like 6 in that. It's crazy.
Holy
he's super young.
Phoenix and his merry men, they make it rain lead on Friendly and Spartan, and as all hell breaks loose, this is where they talk about getting revenge on John Spartan. Speak of the devil, there he is. This battle leads to the surface, and a car chase quickly commences. I do love that car, though. It's kind of ridiculous. There's a fully like restored muscle car beneath the streets of San Angeles, but okay.
And the fuel.
It's
like, what are you using for fuel?
Yeah, they're like brewing their own shit for methane and just like making like we call it shit gas.
Well, it's like if they built San Angeles on top of Los Angeles, then probably some of the old like oil things might have just been still underground.
Oh yeah,
and like still going. There's some funny thing that
good.
Like
this is good headcanon.
Yeah. Well, I do love the visual of them like taking that elevator and just like coming up through the wall, and she's like, damn, that awesome. Looks fucking rad.
This car chase looks fantastic. Like all together, I think it looks great. Like even like when they're close down to the road, I was like, damn, that looks good for 93.
Yeah, it's definitely, it holds up compared to a lot of car chases around this time. And I love the, the fact that Spartan's in the old muscle car and now Phoenix is in like the newer, the newer kind of thing. It's kind of like to me, I would think it would be Phoenix in the muscle car, and that it's John Spartan who's still having to use like future tech and stuff. But you know what this world really reminds me of that I was thinking about is Batman Beyond, the cartoon. Did you guys ever watch that?
Yes, loved it.
Ever watch Batman Beyond?
Loved it.
Loved Batman Beyond.
They need to do a movie about that, man. Like, I mean, okay, I love Bruce Wayne. It's just been beaten. Like it's fucking just stop. Like
you're right.
Give me what's his name? What's his
Terry McGinnis?
Terry McGinnis. Yeah.
Yes. And
or even Damian Wayne.
Yeah.
If it has to be Damian Wayne, then just do Damian Wayne. But I love Terry McGinnis.
Give me old grizzled Keaton as his mentor.
Yes.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the way they're going with this like Flashpoint sort of like movie, but I don't know.
I love that you brought that up. This is super random, but yeah, I remember growing up and watching the Batman animated series and just really liking it, but just never like rushing to the TV to see it. But when Batman Beyond came out and it was that same exact aesthetic and everything, you're right.
Totally.
I love that you brought that up. The cars in that are just super reminiscent of this entire feel. The only thing that's missing is that they're not flying. I think in Batman Beyond, nothing had wheels, essentially. Nothing was grounded.
Right. All that's on HBO, by the way, that's where I've been watching all my Batman shit.
And they put that back out. I think it was 2 years ago on Blu-ray in like full high def.
Ooh,
so you can,
nice.
Yeah, it's very readily and nicely available now. Highly recommend Batman Beyond if you missed that somehow. It's like so good. What are we talking about?
As this chase, as this chase kind of commences between Phoenix and Spartan, Phoenix reveals all the passengers Spartan was frozen for were already dead. They were cold as Haagen-Dazs. I was like, God damn, dude, that's fucking awful.
But also, like, blink and you missed it kind of like reveal right there, right? Because it's like while all this shit is going on and he's jumping out of a helicopter, Phoenix! Like, it's basically, he's like, those hostages were already dead, but like it's like you can almost barely hear it if you're like paying attention.
He's like, yeah, you know what happened? As soon as you yelled Phoenix, I went down there and shot all of them in the head, and that's what gave me the time. As you made your way through the warehouse,
and then I took a refrigerator and blew it on front of all of them to make them really cold, so it wouldn't pick up on your thermal sensors.
Spartan wrecks and he's almost arrested, but he's backed up by the Scraps, who are there to help stop Cocteau and Phoenix once and for all. This is where we're really kind of winding down. You know, we got about 15 minutes left. This is where we're really getting towards the end of like our. But I you know what? I love the foam thing with the car. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Like that's a great practical idea that I'm like, why is nobody doing that?
I saw a Kickstarter for a motorcycle suit that does something just like this. Where you essentially are driving around in a motorcycle suit, but then if you got into an accident and it could tell that like you left your motorcycle or like your speed drastically changed, it would, and you were flown off, it would inflate and you would bounce essentially.
That's pretty cool.
Because there's some people that like get into really low accidents with bikes or whatever, but like if they slide under a guardrail and they have their helmet on, like it'll like take their head off or whatever. So like
his car basically turns into bubble bath. That's what it is.
Yeah, it is a cool idea. I don't know if somebody filled with a bunch of foam in a car would honestly live.
It'd be like fucking suffocating on the foam.
You might swallow some of it, honestly. Like that would be an interesting thing, but yeah.
I think it's in China or Japan. They're making a pair of pants for like senior citizens. It's like something you wear on your belt or something. And as you're falling over, it pops these bags. Yeah, that's pretty fucking cool. That's a good idea. Like I said, the Scraps show up. Benjamin Bratt is now a Scrap again. Everybody looks like they just came fresh off the set of Road Warrior. They say that they're here to make a stand. I love. He's like, give me a gun, give me 2 guns. This is where we're kind of getting like the blending. I love that it's kind of like not only is Spartan bringing in the bad guy, but he's kind of like changing the future now, you know, because it's like who's going to take Cocteau's place, but like Spartan, you know, probably it's not going to be like, you know, because there's nobody else who can kind of stand where he stood before. Be like, yeah, you don't know how to like, you know, use the wisdom of the old world because you've forgotten all of the stuff and you need like, it's kind of like, have you guys ever read The Giver?
I had to read that actually in high school.
I want to watch the movie, but I haven't read it.
Read the book, man. It's short, but it's good. It's similar. Like somebody, I can't read. Sorry. But Spartan and Huxley, they end up taking off for Cocteau. This is Simon Phoenix is basically lets Jessie Ventura kill Cocteau, which is like, how did you not fucking see this coming? You know, like you're this genius guy that built this whole society and you didn't like, are you that naive that you couldn't be like, oh yeah, but like he could just totally get somebody else to do it. Like that's so fucking dumb.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. If he had almost like something like Martin Sheen and Spawn, like, hey, I have something in my body, and if I die, you die. Boom. Right, it is a deep pull, but I think that it's the only thing that ensures, like, hey, if I die, you die too, motherfucker. Like that, like that kind of shit.
You had to go to that piece of shit movie.
I had to
make your point.
I had to. Like I don't know why. There's something weirdly reminiscent of from this movie in a good way. There's parts of Spawn that are great. I'm really excited for the Jamie Foxx one though. Really excited for that.
It's been in development for so long though. I don't even know it's real.
I forgot about that, honestly.
Yeah. For real. And Wesley, speaking of, dude, the Mahershala Ali Blade, is that going to be a TV show or a movie?
I did not forget about that.
Potentially a movie, but they still don't know yet.
I hope it's a movie, but I will say, and this is a little bit of a spoiler I'm about to kind of drop in case you guys haven't seen
Eternals,
the worst Marvel movie that's come out in a long ass time. But,
disagree.
Oh man, God, sorry, huge snore on me, man. It was tough for me to get through that. Hopefully a rewatch will redeem it. But the very end of that, you catch a hint of Blade talking to Kit Harington.
Just his voice off screen.
And I'm like, like I got really, really panicky. So yeah.
Yeah, we need to cover those sometimes. Wesley Snipes, especially those first two were really great.
The second Blade movie, I feel like is fun. Like has a lot of really cool ass parts in it for me. I don't know.
I love the third one as a kid. And then I was like, this is a piece of shit.
Yeah, Marcellus and I quoted the third one like as kids religiously, and then I got older and realized that like that's where the entire almost like Wesley Snipes, I feel like, thing just started really changing, because it was like he was hardly in that movie. His stunt double was in it most of the time. Like he was a dick to the people that he wasn't into it or whatever. It's like kind of sucks to hear that, but
yeah.
How did we get here? Blade.
So they end up killing Dr. Cocteau. Spartan and Huxley fight some of Phoenix's men. I like when Huxley when Huxley actually shoots that guy, and she was like, his life was extinguished by my hand, and he's like, yeah, but it's us or them. It's like it's as simple as that.
Like, she doesn't care.
Yeah, she's like, you're right. Yeah. I got over that pretty quick. Like, but what do you think about him knocking her out before going after Phoenix himself? What do you think about that? Anybody?
I feel like they had to probably have this big ultimate fight at the end of the movie really come down to the poster scene of Stallone Snipes, as so I put it earlier.
Yeah.
So, like, it probably would have been really weird maybe to have Sandra Bullock in there, and you would either have to make her immediately disposed out of the way where it's like, or something like that, or she would have to be involved in a sense so much so that it doesn't pull away from probably like Stallone being like the main guy on the front or whatever.
But I think it'd have to be like Judge Dredd, where you've got the other judge, Diane Lane, fighting the scientist kind of thing.
So like that might have been a really cool alternative, maybe if she had like a little side mission or something, like while he was trying to go and stop Phoenix. Maybe she had to go to a different part of the facility and stop the other 80 inmates from being thawed by going to like some technological like part of it. That would have been a cool alternative version of it. But I don't know. It just sort of feels like a very easy, like, hey, what if we just like good guys like want to make sure she's safe kind of thing, knock her out. It's like, okay. Like I feel
one of my most hated tropes, or the most trope, like the trope that I'm so fucking tired of in movies is, it happens a lot in horror. It happened a lot in The Walking Dead, and that's why I stopped watching The Walking Dead, is I'm going to go to X location, and then someone else says, I'm coming with you. No, it's too dangerous. They get into this big argument of like why they shouldn't come or they shouldn't follow them. And it happened in The Walking Dead so many times, pretty much every episode, that I'm just like, I'm fucking so over this. Like, so one time I just wanted someone to be like, I'm coming with you. No, it's too dangerous. Okay. Like, so I'm so glad that was like, this was spared. Like, I was spared from that in this movie. Like, instead of like having that conversation, just knock her out.
Dude, I tell you what, I am glad I was not spared of. Stallone's forearm, when he puts that fucking key in that door, is like the veins and shit. I was like, God damn, I was like,
fuck, I'm fat.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, man. And Stallone, I mean, really demasculates just about 90% of most men.
Yeah.
I mean, not only physically how he looks, but the shit that he has put his body through. Like he's done way more than the guys from Jackass would. Like he's fucking jumped from insane heights and like done just fucking unbelievable. Broke his neck on Expendables. He's broken shit. Like
the question is, has he taken a dildo up the ass? That's the question.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is he taking like Eric Andre?
Has he glued Wee Man to his chest? But
he was cryogenically frozen. He's been through a lot of shit. You're right.
This is but this is not a bad final fight. You know, I think that this and T2 were what made me terrified of liquid nitrogen as a kid, even though I've never seen it in my fucking life.
So, Zoheb, where would you rank this in like some of your favorite like ultimate ending fight scenes in movies? Would you say that this is up there, or what do you think?
No, it's kind of pretty weak. I mean, you know, we've seen so many like huge, massive showdowns. No, I don't, dude. I'm just going to put this right out there. I don't think any action scene in this movie belongs in any list of like top 10 or whatever.
So I kind of feel like this does a good job kind of wrapping it up without getting too carried away. But it is a little silly that all of this huge buildup comes to him being stuck in a claw machine,
right,
for like 5 minutes. Really all the way up to the last. I feel like their fight lasts like a second. It's almost just like you blink and miss it sort of thing.
Well, because he spent so much time, literally, he's like one of the aliens in Toy Story, like like he stays in that thing for so long. Yeah. And I love him pulling the tube and freezing the tube and, you know, like cracking the arm off. It's like, cool. I like how they play with like the elements around them and use them to their advantage kind of thing. But yes, this is
Jason X. That's how he does, basically.
Well, I think he even says at the beginning, I would lose my head if it wasn't attached.
He does.
And then he fucking kicks his head off at the end. But as far as like a set piece, though, I love the way this place looks. I gotta say, maybe they don't do much with it.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, and like Snipes with like the laser thawing gun, like like blasting through the room. I was like, man, I kind of love that shit.
Did you notice that he's using that as like a sentinel beam at first, but then he realizes that thing on the front is like restricting it, and so he smashes it up. Like he basically like fucks up the gun halfway through shooting it, so that the stream ends up going from a single line to that like Emperor's like light force lightning kind of thing. Do you notice that? Like halfway through, he's like, man, he almost like triples the amount of like power that gun has by smacking up against it and then shooting it. But all that is like really for nothing.
Yeah, for real. And Wesley Snipes ends up, like Zoheb said, he gets Jason next.
Yep.
And I just I love the visuals though of it going up him and Spartan jumping up and catching the arm and being carried away. It's like, dude, that is fucking rad. I love it, man. I'm here for it. But what I'm not here for is heads up. It's like, okay, we've already had one head pun. Baby. I know it was 90 minutes ago, but come on.
Hang on. There's too many lines in this movie. I feel like there's too many like little one lines like that to point out. Is that the one for you that does it? Is heads up?
Yes. Heads up. What I do love, and I might be misremembering this, but I believe that the head of Wesley Snipes was like a plastered head that was dipped in liquid nitrogen, and that they just bounced it across the floor and it broke the second time. And I was like, oh, that's fucking cool.
Did
like they actually use liquid nitrogen. Put a bunch of
red chunks in there at the same time, because I feel like that's the only way that it shatters as blue and red at the same time. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's gnarly looking. I dig it. But you know what's kind of weird though is I get bringing the scraps out at the end, and it's like, yeah, we're here to stand for something. It's like, but you don't do anything. Like the scraps do nothing. Like why does Stallone go in and fight all these people single handedly when you have an entire army of cops and scraps like at your disposal? You know, I don't know. It seems so weird. It's like it's like all these forces start gathering together, and then it's just like, all right. But now it comes down to just one man. It's like, why? Why does it have to come down to, like, it makes me think of fucking Will Ferrell and the other guys. He goes, you know what the city needs? The city needs a hero. He goes, why? Why not 9 million socially responsible human beings? It's like, why? Why does it have to come down to this, like, one man thing? Like, I would personally, maybe the budget just wasn't here for this movie, but I would love to see the cops and the scraps fighting these unbelievable like future criminals like that, like almost like Dark Knight Rises, like, you know, the Capital Steps kind of shit. Like that would be fucking gnarly. And you have Phoenix and Stallone kind of going in the background like that. I think would be cool, because I think this does feel a little okay, cool. Like it does feel, I know we just had a car chase and shit a minute ago, but maybe this does need to really, really ramp up at the end, you know? But all in all, I mean, that's Demolition Man though. You know, they come out, he and Huxley, share some spit, which is like, I love the fact that she's not like totally turned off by it. You know, it's just like human nature. Like Oh my! Are all fluid transfer activities like this?
And then the warden in Shawshank comes out and is ashamed and shoots himself. It's a good ending.
Yeah. Hey,
that guy
I've been trying to have sex with her for
every
2
fucking
years.
movie that he gets cast into.
I know.
Like Shawshank, Ace Ventura, the second one, When Nature Calls, is in that as well.
Yes. He's like Dr. Kelso in Scrubs. I can't remember that actor's name, but he's always a fucking bad guy. But that's Demolition Man, guys. I'm glad we finally got that got that on the roster. It's been a minute. I think I'm gonna look and see if we have any.
I've got one.
Comments.
I've got one pulled up. Well, Jose's.
Nice.
Okay, cool.
We've got Jose.
Okay, good old Jose.
Love you, Jose.
Yes,
he says, I first saw this on pay-per-view with my dad. We had a blast. It's an action movie, sure, but it's got some funny moments as well. This might be my favorite character Wesley Snipes has ever played. More than Blade, you say? Yeah, that's right. I didn't stutter. That's a big call. What makes the movie even better is how you can contrast and compare it to the world of today. It's got some things right, like tablets, FaceTime, and people not wanting to shake hands. But I'm glad we avoided the really repressed culture of San Angeles. Not that the scraps have it any better. Seems Elliot Goldenthal used a lot of the same music cues when he did the score for Batman Forever, because that's all I could hear. Damn, that's a good point.
Interesting.
I'd need to watch Batman Forever to
I haven't
make
watched
that
that
comparison.
long enough to
But
yeah, been a while.
Kind of don't want to be honest. Finally, 2 random thoughts. First, am I the only one who thinks it's just San Angeles that's like this? That other cities in the world didn't adopt Cocteau's way of life? I can easily see this existing in the same world as Escape from New York, where they sent those that weren't even worthy of cryo prison. Damn. That's a good point.
That's interesting.
Do you guys almost think that San Angeles is a cult town?
I think
Yeah,
San
something weird
Angeles,
going on.
that's a good point that Jose makes. Like, that it's kind of like an Escape from New York kind of like situation. I wonder if it's like sort of like Dread, where Dread has those mega cities sort of thing,
Right.
and then like the
But
rest.
is it like New Vegas? Like Fallout New Vegas.
What does the rest of the world look like? Like, have they merged their cities as well? Kind of thing. I don't know.
There's already like hints of cities being like hyper independent in one sense, where in the 1996, in the very, very, very beginning of the movie, where they're like, can you believe commercial airlines used to fly here? And they're talking about like 1996 version of Los Angeles, which makes you really think like how, like in the Judge Dredd, God damn it. In the future version of this, in San Angeles, do people like fly back there again? Did it get put back on the map? Like, what's this? Do cities like have standards they have to meet to like for that to be the case? Like, it's just little weird things like that. I feel like
definitely an interesting thought. I didn't consider that actually.
And I'm glad that Jose brought that up, because it was something that also occurred to me halfway through it, but I didn't really like think much on it. Was that like it almost feels like a cultish kind of like town in the sense where it's like we don't do anything that is bad for you because we mean that is immediately illegal, which is just like
it's the Jonestown of cities.
Such an immediate line in the sand to draw, right? Like, oh, if it's not good for you, then it's illegal. Like, that's how we do it here. Like,
right.
And then like, you're right. Space Pope walking around trying to be like, if you have sex, you will be charged 1 violation of the,
like it's the Vatican City of Italy. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
you will be charged 1 violation of the anal intercourse.
You'll be charged 1 violation of the pedophile act.
Can you imagine the person that downloads the statistics in San Angeles for all the tickets issued? He's like, man, this one apartment complex, these people having anal sex every day. It's just
that's a big spreadsheet. That's a big spreadsheet, baby. Yeah. Jose continues. He says, second, everyone else has complex explanations for the 3 seashells. I always figured were buttons. Were buttons in a shelf on the wall for a bidet. 1 for the initial jet of water, 1 to tidy up, and the 3rd shell button is for drying.
Very, very good.
I like it.
Simple enough to use, but confusing enough for someone who isn't used to it. Wow, that's okay. Yeah, I see that.
Interesting. So yeah, that was Demolition. Thank you, Jose. That was Demolition Man. I enjoy this movie. I think it's a fine movie. I think it's a little overrated at times, but I do think it gets a lot of a lot of the funny parts right, and a lot of the actiony parts are, maybe not the strong suit of the movie, but I don't think that's what the movie is supposed to be about. I feel like that's just kind of like necessary in this movie, and they just kind of do it to get it out of the way, and then we get to like the funny stuff. I feel like whereas like Shaun of the Dead is like a comedy horror, not a horror comedy. Like, I feel like this is like a comedy action, not an action comedy. It's majoring in comedy with a minor in action.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy it. What about you, Zohad?
Yeah, I'm a little. I'm coming at it from the same angle that you are. I think yes, it definitely is a comedy action. I don't think it does the action quite as well as I'd like it to. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think any of the set pieces are astounding. Like, things definitely look great.
It's acceptable.
Yeah, yeah. Like this, like the actual set design is actually kind of fantastic. But like, the way it's shot and stuff, it feels a little like TV movie ish. But I think the premise above all things is the best thing about this movie. I think the idea that these two kind of like, get woken up, their cryo is interrupted. They wake up in like this like new kind of like utopia. I think that really kind of sets the stage for a reimagining of this movie. And like, I know that might be a little bit kind of like that might be a terrible thing to say, or it's blasphemy or whatever it is, but I would like to see a reimagining of this movie. Like done kind of like today. I think the comedy definitely works in this movie as well, but only in the early stages. Like, the first half of this movie is definitely a lot better than the second half for me. Like, I love the idea of like these two are kind of like fish out of water. They're discovering this new sort of place, and then like that always to me is the more interesting part of these like sort of fish out of water stories. Like, in the first Thor, when he rocks up and, like he's just like out of like, what the fuck's going on? He smashes a glass and he walks into a pet store and he's like, I need a horse. Like, you know what I mean? Like that those parts to me, those are more interesting to me than when the character actually gets used to the setting that they're in. So yeah, I don't know. I enjoy this movie for what it is. I think it is a little overrated. I don't think it deserves the, oh my God, Demolition Man, holy shit, that's fucking awesome. Like, that whole praise, but I think it's good. I think it's a good movie. Right,
it's fine film. What about you, Danny?
It's one of those, I feel like, that gets caught up in the entire filmography of a lot of the Stallone stuff that he does. It's probably one of his more foremost ones, but certainly more of like a well-known Wesley Snipes one. Man, I feel like you guys already just kind of like hit it really well. It almost feels like more of like the other guys, where it's like more comedy than it is action at times. And
there wasn't even an awning in that direction. They just jumped 30 stories.
It's like there weren't even bushes down there.
It's one of those favorite moments.
And so, the entire, just that entire connection of putting somebody as like tough and brutish as Sylvester Stallone in a future that he's fish out of water, next to, people like Sandra Bullock and Benjamin Bratt and all those. It's just a fun juxtaposition. And I'm not sure it could be repeated very well, but it's just really fun to see all of them do it. So I'm really happy that we all get to cover it.
Hell yeah. Guys, thanks for listening all the way through. We greatly appreciate it. Again, stop by, rate, review us on iTunes. You can find out everything from the show at midnightdoublefeature.com. Stop by, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/midnightdoublefeature. Remember, you are a very sensitive individual who inspires many a joy feeling, and we will catch you on the next episode. Bye-bye.